To say that I think peace, light, and love, that people have a really hard time, including myself sometimes, going beyond the drama.
That's right.
And just being in the peaceful state we're supposed to be in, or should be in, because the natural state is peace in our world, not war, not murder, not killing, not violence. And yet there's this attraction towards drama always. And it's okay, a little bit of drama, but this obsession with crime and murder is just too much. When there's just so much good things going on. We can learn from dogs. Dogs are never focused on violence, and they want to be in a peaceful state, like all of us. So this is a beautiful view. Look at the dogs walking. Yeah, dog walker, beautiful dog walker, and beautiful dogs, beautiful scenery. Always in every weather he's walking these dogs. Very nice dog walker, and you have the birds here, the water birds. Beautiful. This is for me the best drama, nature drama, isn't it?
Yeah, I like it very much, Mommy. But don't send me to a dog walker ever. I don't like to be with a big band of dogs.
Yeah, it's not for everyone. Our dogs are spoiled. It's for younger dogs. I think the dogs are enjoying themselves. I see their tails are waving in the air. Very positive guy. So let that be a lesson to us. When we are with positive thoughts, our lives become positive. Because I see some dog walkers, they're just like nasty. They're talking on the phone. They're riding their bike. They're not focused on the dogs. And then you get this energy. The dogs do take on energy, and like children take on energy, and everything in life is energy. So if you're coming to life with a huge positive chunk of energy and you're like, yes, this is going to be a great day and everything is going to be great, and then your life will be positive. Positive thoughts are the seeds to positive deeds, and positive deeds are what makes your life, and to focus on negativity is indeed very tragic and sad. We should really look at the wonderful things. People are doing sports, children are playing, and not focus. That may be not as dramatic as who did it, who killed this person, and how did they do it, and what. Some of the details in which people are focused on murder cases are just, for me, astonishing. Because at the end of the day, does it really matter? Does it really matter? I mean, a lot of times we're putting on trial, or people like to put on trial people and through the media and whatever, and does it really matter? Let the courts do their jobs and let us live our lives in peace, light, and love, and not judge other people too much, and not try to I think one of the things people like to do is to judge. They like to play the judge. This is my theory, why people like so much Crime Watch. And they like to say, oh God, how could that person have done it? And indeed, a lot of times we don't understand how people do what they do. How can they be so violent? How can they... And some people have extreme cases of violence, and we don't understand it. And I think there's communities of people just going online and judging and judging and judging. There's also a very ugly trend of judging the victim, and then there's judging the perpetrator, and it's like, it's like, why do we need to judge people? Some people just get a high out of it. They feel better about themselves. Maybe they're insecure about themselves as parents or wives or husbands, and then they have an opportunity to take a case of a crime, and then to feel so much better. And some of these cases are horrific. I have to admit, you don't understand how a human being can do that to another human being, and it's beyond understanding. It is beyond understanding. You need to have a very big lack of empathy to commit crimes, but to talk about it constantly affects each and everybody's lives. It affects the life of those listening. First of all, it affects the life of those talking about it. I do admit that when I talked about it, I was really upset because the media was flooded with videos of certain family And visibility is everything. Once you see these little kids, and then you find out that they've been brutally murdered, then there's talk. But I mean, a murder that happened in August, and still people are producing videos, and they're producing videos about the blankets, about the garbage of the family. And I mean, like, the dog, and then they take pictures of the house. It's becoming an obsession with people. And the question is why they cannot focus on the positivity. I mean, surely during this time, their own children go to school or university or work or whatever they're doing. And surely there's good stuff that happens. בוקר טוב. תודה שלך. יפה. יש מציאות היום? לא. לא. תמיד יש מציאות. תמיד יש מציאות. So yeah, people are here leaving all kinds of, the garbage man is always finding interesting objects and then he sells them, which is good for him, yeah. Anyway, and I'm very happy. He is the most important person in society because, yeah, this connects to our talk actually in a strange way because, you know, the question is, are we picking up trash of other people and just going through it? Because this is what it seems to me these talks are doing. You're going through the trash of somebody and you analyze it and you just like, oh, let's go through their trash, let's go through their stuff, and let's feel better about ourselves. Is this the only way you can feel better about yourself? Why don't you try doing positive things? Like, just had a wonderful session of yoga. I'm the teacher and the pupil, since I'm a certified yoga teacher, Shivananda yoga teacher. And I learned in that school that if I have positive thoughts, they lead to positive deeds. And that indeed is what's been happening in my life as well. And you know, one of the things that I've learned about is that it says it in the Bible, don't sit in the company, like you're not supposed to sit in the company of negative people. If you're like with negative people, it affects you. Sometimes it's hard to say no, but sometimes you just have to count your losses and move on from negative people. And I find so much better to be not with negative people that constantly say negative things to me, because you have to understand that people who speak negative things, it is their negativity. It's not yours. It's very hard not to take it personally, but everything somebody says, you know, it's their words. It's not yours. And so I see these people focused on negativity when there's so much beauty in this world. I find it very sad, but I think I have to speak out about it. I don't understand what motivates these communities. Is it really necessary to form communities around this crime watch? Is it really necessary to speak about negative things? What is this fascination with negative things, and why can't we focus on positive things? That's what I don't get. Because I think there's enough negativity in the media, and you don't see headlines like, oh, today a child smiled at me, or today somebody let me go ahead of them in line, or today somebody smiled to me and say hello to me, or today somebody did this and this act of kindness. There are thousands and millions of acts of kindness that take place every single day all over the world that are not reported. Sometimes they make headlines, you know, and then it affects us. We're so happy that somebody did something positive, and then we say, hey, why don't I do the same? Instead of going into somebody's trash, why don't we just stay away from garbage cans, stay away from the negative side of society, and look at the positive and the growth. And children are the best thing. Instead of looking at murdered, dead children, why don't we look at the children that are alive? Of course, we have to have a mourning period, but I think in Judaism it's limited to a few days, and so far it's been a few months of going over and over this one trial when there's so many things happening. And it's very hard to say this, but it's time sometimes to bury the dead. And now it's spring, And remember the words of T.S. Eliot. April is the cruelest month. It's coming soon. April is the cruelest month. I will quote this poem again. April is the cruelest month. Breeding lilacs out of the dead earth. And it is because winter kept us under a blanket of snow. And then, at least in Europe, and then you have spring coming. And all of a sudden you realize that you can't stay in this state of mourning and instead of negativity. The flowers force us to act and force us to throw away our blankets of despair and be happy. And sometimes people have a hard time being happy. They are sticking to negativity and negative habits rather than going towards positivity just because somehow they learned that negativity wins in this world, but that's not the case at all. I'm very optimistic, actually. I think spring will bring us really good news. We're going to have good things. And when you see an item in the news next time that's negative, look for a positive item, and I'm sure even in the worst media you will find it. And I do realize that certain media outlets stress negativity more than others. And the question is, what do you do with this negativity? Do you analyze it and try to prevent it? Or do you just, go through the trash and stay in the trash? That's the question. So I'm hoping today, overcast day, to spread sunshine wherever I go, to be a happy person, to try not to go to look at the negative side, to look at the bright side, to look at the good stuff, to look when I go through the street, not to look at the trash on the side, but which is so easy to see, but actually they did a good job. It's a clean street today. But look at this flower. It's called the paradise. This is the bird of paradise. It's a bit dry, but spring is a wonderful time. Even here, when the seasons are not so accentuated, because it seems like one season of summer, like sort of European summer, a little bit of rain, like not a lot in the winter, and very, very warm summer, not appreciated by the locals at all. It is spring, so let's be happy. Let's spring into spring and be happy, because you can choose to be happy. Peace, light, and love.